Let's do this. I feel like I should have some music or something. Hello, everybody. Everybody's kind of popping in. Welcome. It's Monday night. Really want to say it's Saturday night, but it's not. It's Monday. Feel free to chime in if you're doing great on this Monday.
Hi, doing great.
Good. We're going to give everybody a few minutes to kind of pop in, and Terry, my co-host, is admitting everybody. That way we can make sure we're including everybody that should be here and wants to be here.
Happy Monday, everybody.
Happy Monday. Kudos to everybody joining. I know it's hard. We probably all work this weekend and it's Monday. So give yourself a pat on the back for showing up. I'm sure we'd all like to be sitting watching Netflix or doing whatever with our lives right now. I say we'll give it another minute or two so we can respect the folks that showed up on time and logged in. Got some fun material to go over tonight. If anybody wants to share any successes from last week, I would love to hear those. Any wins for the week, whether it's just personal, business, anything.
I have a win.
Okay.
After learning how to do the open house landing page, I utilized it right away on Saturday and it went right to my command app. So it was amazing.
Nice. And was it pretty easy to do that? Create it?
Yes.
Good.
And I used a couple of the questions one of the instructors said as well as like, as you walk through the house, make sure you keep in mind something you like, something you would change, and like what you think the price is. And they gave me so much great feedback. So it was amazing.
Good. Good. Any good solid leads you got from your open house?
They all had agents, but so I'm trying to figure out how do I work with that now? Like, do I still follow up with them, although they had agents? So I'm trying to figure that out. Okay.
Absolutely. Now, when this buyer broker thing shakes out, we may get different messaging. However, I have done a lot of open houses where I've met people and I've brought value and education, and I get a call or a follow-up a month later, and they're like, hey, we'd like to make an agent change and we want to meet with you. So I always thank everybody for coming to my open houses, even if they have agents. Like, it was so great to meet you. I understand you have an agent. If you ever have a need to make an agent change, I would love to be your backup agent.
Gotcha.
And
Okay, thank you for that.
Grip on them every 30 days, because in a couple months, there's probably gonna be a lot of us, not me, but a lot of agents getting out of the business, with all the changes coming down our way. So it's going to be an interesting couple months. So
Okay.
absolutely follow up with everybody. If nothing else, thank them for, stopping by. And, if they reach back out, just make sure before you start working with them that they have, severed their relationship with their other realtor. Be respectful.
Okay.
Yeah, but definitely follow up and thank them. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else have any wins they'd like to share for the week? We've got 36 of you on here. No? Don't be shy. We're gonna be together for a couple hours. Okay. So I'm gonna, out of respect for you, everybody that's joined us, and logged in on time, we will probably have people popping in and out at different times, but we're gonna go ahead and get started. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Leslie Sturwalt, and I am a productivity coach and a mega agent out of the SAC Metro office in California, Northern California area. I've been in business for about 15 years, going on 15 years. I've been a coach for going on 3.5. And I've taken Ignite several times. I've taken Bold several times. I've started exactly where you guys are starting. We might have some, seasoned agents popping in that will share their knowledge with us as well. But this is a great course. And even as you go on in your career, I encourage you to come back for a refresher. you know, if you need help with leads or sellers or buyers, conversations, it's a great refresher course as well. So again, it's Monday evening, 6 o'clock. Pat yourself on the back for showing up, because it can be challenging and daunting after working all weekend with open houses and showing homes to then plug in and get your brain going at 6 p.m. So thank you for showing up. A couple housekeeping items. If you do have a loud background, you know, make sure you're on mute if you got things going on in your house. In full transparency, I am working from home. I have 3 Labradors. They range from 2 years up to 5 years, and I'm hoping they behave themselves for the next 2 hours. If not, I'm apologizing in advance. My husband that's his job for two hours. We'll see how that goes. Okay. I will do my best. Just bear with me if they get a little crazy. And if you have phone calls you need to take, that's totally fine. We do have clients and everything like that. I would love for everybody to participate. You get more out of it when everybody shares their stories like Shakita did. That's how we learn from each other. And I learn from you guys, which is why I love to teach and coach. It helps me keep growing as an agent as well. There's Terry Huckinen is with us out of my office. She's been taking Ignite with you guys. She's going to be monitoring the chat for me, as well as helping me because I can't see all the screen. So if there's people raising their hands, she'll make sure that we're addressing your questions and concerns as we go. I do not know it all, shock, but I don't. If there's something I don't know, I will be happy to find out the answer and get back in touch with you. And I will let you know if I don't know the answer. I'm pretty good at figuring things out, but you may ask me, you know, stump the realtor, like some of my clients try to me, and that may happen. So I promise I will get you an answer. Okay. And any questions so far? Otherwise, we're just going to jump on in. Okay. So this is session 9, capture more leads. So you guys have done 8 sessions already, and we're going to dive right in. Okay. Okay. So today is all about lead generating and capturing more leads. Okay. We are going to look at generating leads, growing your database, capturing leads with open houses, social media. You guys have worked on that so far. And now we're going to work on capturing more leads with different sources. So this is the lead generation model. The next class and few classes you take will be lead follow-up. Okay, so we are going to work on how do you get more leads? Where do you find them? There's lots of ways, and it's really, you know, just sticking with the basics, to be honest with you. As our market's been changing, that's what I've been doing, is just diving back into the basics. So we're going to go over that. Okay. And if anybody has ideas that you guys have done that have worked for you, even the ones that haven't worked from you, failing forward, we'd love to learn from each other failing forward as well. Okay. So have you guys all been doing the success system where you're reaching out daily to your sphere or to new leads? How's that been working for everybody? Anybody have any successes there that's turned into an actual contact? Okay, so we're going to dive in. Okay, so tonight our agenda is we're going to talk about prospecting versus marketing. They are very different, and sometimes they can go hand in hand. We're going to talk about more sources. You guys are going to give me some ahas from those. We're going to talk about some systems, some proven systems that actually have worked. We're going to talk about gold mine of referrals. What are referrals? How do you get them and turn them into growing your business? And then capturing every lead to make sure nobody is falling through the cracks. Okay. Because it's really easy to do an open house and get 30 leads and contacts. And then by the time you get through 30 days, you're like, oh, I've only followed up with 2 people. So we're going to teach you how to capture all of them. Okay. Okay. Who would like to jump in and read this quote for me? Anybody just jump in, first person. And if you don't, I'm just going to call on somebody.
You love people, but at the same time, you haven't yet learned to love hunting for them.
So what does that mean to you guys? And anybody, just jump on in. When you hear that quote, what does that mean?
You like people, but you don't go seek them out.
Yes, I'm not wild about that hunting for them word, but that is exactly what that means. That we love people, and they're a necessary part of our business. We can't do our business without them. But the whole part of finding them, converting them and making them part of our business may not sound really fun yet, but there's ways to make it fun. And that's been my big aha in the last like 2 years is, finding the joy again in my business. So, if you want to find a different word for hunting them, making friends, loving on them, loving your database, that's exactly what that means, is to try to find the joy in it so that you have fun and it doesn't feel like a grind every single day, right? Okay. Your number one job is to find ways to get in the path of motivated buyers and sellers. Okay. What does that mean to somebody? Every morning you wake up, your number one job is to find ways to get in the path of motivated buyers and sellers.
Just to always be on the front of their mind.
Mm-hmm. And finding them, right? So we meet lots of people doing open houses, door knocking, cold calling. We meet lots of people, talk to lots of people, but finding the motivated ones that are ready, either right now or ready in a couple months, that is the key. And having as many conversations as you can with as many people as you can. And it's bound to happen. I promise. I've seen it time and time again. It does happen. If you're having the right conversations and keeping them top of mind so that you're top of mind with them when they have a real estate need. Okay. So there is 2 M's of lead generation: message and method. So you've got your message, which is what are you going to say and how are you going to say it? And then you've got your method of how you're going to deliver that message. Okay. So one of the key things in messaging is matching your market. So if you have a niche market, let's say first-time home buyers, you have investors, or maybe it's a 55 and older development. Maybe it's move-up buyers. You want to match your message to the market that you're targeting. If you have a niche market, or if you're just looking for sellers in general, let's say, maybe you're like, hey, I want to get as many sellers as I can. Maybe you're looking for sellers that have equity. So you want to match your message to the market that you're targeting, right? Because if you're not matching it, there's not going to be a reason for them to reach back out to you. Does anybody have a niche market that they're working in right now or that they're trying to develop and build that they would like to share about?
I'm in more of a senior area,
Okay.
so 55 and over.
And so can you imagine, just picture if you're sending out either door dropping flyers or sending out emails or, sending letters out to them and saying, hey, are you interested in buying your first home?
Yeah, that won't work.
They're going to look at you and go, that message doesn't really match this market, right? So that's what we're talking about when we talk about that. And then following it up with making an offer. So making an offer doesn't mean making an offer on a property. It's you might hear it referred to as MOFR, MOFIR, make offer for instant response. That means having a call to action, right? So if you are sending out something in the mail or you're door dropping or flyer dropping, even when you're doing an open house, give them a reason to reach back out or come to your open house to meet you. So can anybody think of a make an offer that, whether it's direct, like, come visit my website to get this information or call me or scan this QR code, what would be something that would, you think, trigger somebody to reach back out to you?
Well, I know something that I've done, but it hasn't worked so far. So if I go to an open house and they come and they view the home and it's not the house they're looking for, it doesn't check all their boxes, I always print a list of homes in that particular zip code. Like say if it's a 4-bedroom, I'll print a list of homes, 3 to 5 bedrooms, 2.5 to 3 baths with similar square footage, similar price range. And I'll give that to them and say, here's a list of homes in the, in this zip code that are similar to the home that you just viewed. If you'd like to, go and view the property, I'd be happy to take you, or something, something around those lines. But no one's ever contacted me, so but it's just a thought.
So you say that nobody's ever contacted you, but they've got your information and they know that you can provide that value to them. So it might just be that they haven't contacted you right now. It could be when they're ready. They're like, hey, she gave me that list. She brought value to me. and they may reach back out. So keep doing that. That's a great value added for people that come to open houses. When people come to open houses, they've already raised their hand that they are interested in either the neighborhood, that particular home, that price range, or they're looking for a realtor. So you've gotten over half the battle when they come to open houses. So just
And
keep
people-
bringing the value.
And several people have said, oh, no one's ever done that before.
See, setting yourself apart. Yeah. And another thing you could do that I know agents do that I've coached is they'll share their KW app with the people at open houses. That's a huge value add right there. They can literally take that app and drive around the neighborhood, and if there's signs out there, they can see what's available and active and get all the information there, and it's branded to you. So you could say, let me share this with you. Here's what it does. That's making an offer for instant response. Home valuation, if you're sending emails or on your website or a QR code, you can have them scan the QR code to get their home valuation. People, even if they're not thinking about selling, they love to find out what their home is worth. They always think it's probably worth more than it is, but sometimes it is worth more than they thought. And then it gets them excited about maybe moving to the next home, upsizing, downsizing, or moving out of the state. So providing that value, it gives them a reason to contact you. So that make an offer, call to action is really important with your message. And you want to, again, design it to your target audience. And an indirect offer is like, hey, come to my website, go here to this landing page. A direct offer, with your message is call me, text me, email me, private message me. Those would be a direct form of reaching out. How many times, I don't know about you, but I shop on Amazon all the time. I don't know. I think I get 3 to 4 emails from Amazon a day, right? When I order something, I know that it's been ordered. I know it's been shipped, says it's been delivered. And then I get a, hey, will you do a review for us? Right? So I ordered something last night. By this morning at 7 a.m., it was here, and I've gotten five emails and text messages from them. I'm not bothered by it. And next time I buy something, it'll probably be through Amazon. So when you're thinking about, marketing and prospecting, that's kind of the companies you want to think about. Are there any other companies that you guys have experienced that you would say do a really good job at delivering their message to match their market as well as the method they're using? Any other companies you've experienced out there other than Amazon?
Walmart.
What'd you say?
Walmart sends all the emails.
Walmart's very good. We all remember roll back the prices, right? Do we all remember that? I remember that all the time. Everything ends in a 9.8 typically at their, stores. I don't know, does anybody shop on Wayfair? And I've seen their commercials all the time. They're always in my head if I'm gonna buy like a piece of furniture or something for my office. Wayfair is another one. They do a really good job messaging and then marketing to you. So that's kind of, as realtors, that's what we do. And it's crafting your message to match your market. Does anybody have any examples of what they've done either on social media or in print, email, where you're matching your message and, delivering it? Does anybody else have examples of what they've done that they would like to share?
So I haven't seen how it turned out yet, but this morning I posted the weeds in my back area because there was a lot of rain in San Diego recently. And the weeds obviously took over and it was a monstrosity. And so I posted a before and after picture, and I was like, yes, I let my weeds go, but it took me 2 hours and time and money. And if you, need help or inspiration, like, I can find a landscaper in your area, local, just call me. So we'll see how it goes.
That's a great idea. I would love to hear when you get some results from that. And again, if you're doing something and you're doing it once, you may not see instant results. Keep doing it, because one thing about our business is consistency. So sometimes we need to do the same social media message. People need to see things over and over and over. And that's called mind share. And that's how you know you're getting into them. And you're like, hey, this is me. This is the service I offer. Another thing that I've done is I will connect up, depending on the season, with my heating and air company that I work with, as well as my carpet cleaner. Like right before the holidays, I'll do this with my carpet cleaner where we offer a discount. If they either mention, you know, where they found it, they have to mention me. They have the flyer when they call him, or we've been doing like a code, a specific code number. So they can't just say, oh yeah, I heard about it. They actually have to have the code. And then he'll give them 15% off of their services. And that helps promote, you know, a local business. And then it helps, you know, me bring value to my customers and a way for me to touch them without talking about real estate. I'm actually providing value to them, and they look forward to it every year. They know they're going to get their 15% right before the holidays. I have people that call me now for it. Like, are you still doing that? I'm like, yes, I'm still doing it. We're to the point where we're probably gonna have to say for new customers only, because they've been doing this. I've been doing this about 4 years now. So connecting up, like, you know, with landscapers, plumbers, people are always looking for a good plumber, painter, electrician. Go down your list of vendors that you've connected with. If you haven't connected with one, this is a great way to build your team and then market them. And then also be able to help your database. And you can do that at open houses as well, because you know they're going to buy a new house at some point. Anybody else have anything they'd like to share before we move on to the next slide? No. Okay. Bear with me here. So when we're talking about our method, I want to talk about taking action. So if people are responding to you, make sure you follow back up and in a timely manner, because I think that's where sometimes we can kind of get lost, where they do follow up with us and then we get so busy doing other things, we forget to re-engage with them. So when you're doing all this work, just make sure that you do that. Okay. Okay. So leads are everywhere. Is there anybody that doesn't believe that leads are everywhere? They are everywhere. They might be hidden, they might be disguised, but they are everywhere. If you think of it just people and you want to make new friends, the hardest part sometimes is approaching people. I'll be in the grocery store. Like today, I've got my Keller Williams shirt on. I don't know if you can see it, got my KW shirt on. I will have people come up and talk to me at the store because they can see I'm in real estate. If they don't come and talk to me, but I overhear them in the aisle, I'll be like, oh, I'm a realtor. And then they'll just start asking me all these questions, especially because we've been in the news a lot lately with the NAR settlement and everything. That's become a hot button. I was standing in the airport the day that came out, and 2 people just randomly started talking to me about it. And I was just listening. I didn't even have to say much because they were just And I was like, well, we're gonna have to see how that shakes out. There's a lot of changes coming down the road. People love to talk about real estate. If they don't approach you, what are some questions you can, you know, come up with that, you know, if you're either in the grocery store, the bank, or even at an open house? What are some questions you guys use at an open house to approach people, to connect with them? Maybe have you seen any homes in the area that you've liked? Have you been at other open houses? Those are some of the questions that I will usually ask to get them engaged in talking about what they're looking for. Anybody else have anything else that's working for them?
I usually ask if they're interested in the neighborhood, especially if they're in a specific open house.
And sometimes I've seen people come into, like, you know, I've seen them like 3 months in a row at different open houses in a neighborhood or in a zip code. And I kind of remember them just because they've been to a couple of them. I'm like, still looking, you haven't found the one you're looking for. And I'm like, my clients usually find theirs within 60 days. So if you'd been working with me by now, we would have already found your home. I'm that confident I can find them a house that quick. But it opens up that trust. We're like, oh, really? Let me talk to that person and see what they have to offer. And asking about the neighborhood is a great way to find out if that's the one they're looking in, or if they've just started looking. They might say something like, well, yeah, we're not sure yet. We're checking out a few different neighborhoods. And then you can follow that up with what other areas might interest you, right? And having a list. I think it was Lorena that said she had a list of other homes in the area that you can provide to them. Having a list of other open houses is really great as well, because they may not even be aware that there's one 4 blocks over, especially if somebody's not doing really good signage. So bringing that value is really great as well. And then, you know,
someone Actually asked me for that this weekend. Someone actually asked me for that this weekend. Oh, do you have
Yeah.
a list of other houses in this neighborhood that are having open houses?
And that's really good too, because when I have that, they'll look at it and go, oh, those are way out of my price range, right? So you print all the price ranges and that will kind of zone in on which they're comfortable with. Because right out of the gate, they'll say, oh no, that one's way too high for me. But these over here look pretty good. So it's also a way to kind of narrow down what they might be looking for. And just be honest with them and just say, ask for permission to ask about more of their situation. Why are you looking to buy? What brought you in today to see the house? Or if it's somebody that gets referred to you, same thing. You want to earn their trust. The easiest way to do it at the open house is to apply our Ford conversation model. Who remembers what Ford is? Anybody?
Family, occupation,
Recreation.
recreation and dreams.
And dreams, yep. And honestly, by the time you get to family, occupation, sometimes you don't even get to the recreation and dreams, but that is a great tool. Even if you picked out one of those, you don't have to go in order, just pick one of those to connect with them and you're earning their trust. And that is really what, when you meet new people, is building that rapport and earning their trust, whether it's somebody that got referred to you, somebody you meet at an event. If you're wearing your real estate swag, either hat, shirt, jacket, that starts conversations. I don't know if anybody else experienced that when they're just out in public wearing their real estate swag, that people just start talking to you. Do you guys have real estate swag you guys are wandering around in?
I have magnets on my car.
Oh, good, good.
I
I
get
have that too.
asked about that.
See, I can't have those because I get pulled over when I speed, when I'm looking for an appointment, so I can't have those. But yeah, those do work. I have several agents that I know that use them, and it does pique their interest. I brought something to share with you that I have. So I'm a dog mom. Like I said, I have 3
I'm a
Labradors.
pet groomer.
There you go. So I don't know if you can see this, but it's a sweatshirt that I wear when I'm walking my dog. And it says, I am a dog mom and a realtor. Nothing scares me. This has been the biggest conversation starter when I'm walking my dog. People around the neighborhood, they're already getting my mailings because I do a lot of farming in my neighborhood. And when I'm out walking the dogs, they read it and they laugh. And then they're like, oh, how old's your dog? And it starts that conversation, not about real estate, just in general. And so the next time they see my signs in the neighborhood, they get something in the mail, they're going to know who I am as a person. And really, we're here to connect with people so that when they do have a real estate need, they're reaching out to you.
You've
So
got something in common with them.
Yeah, exactly. I literally have been hired before. I have Labradors. She had a yellow one. I'm a soccer mom. And that was why she hired me. I mean, she knew I was going to take care of her and everything after the listing appointment, but she said, that's why I reached out to you. She's like, I saw your website and I did research on you. And she said that honestly, she interviewed 3 realtors. That was the deciding factor, was we had dogs in common and soccer mom in common. You never know what that deciding factor is going to be. And
Yeah.
she ended up becoming a really dear friend of mine.
And if you're marketing that everywhere, it's just so unique too. I could see how like someone would totally love that. So it's just, I love that. It's brilliant.
I do. So I have a black lab. His name's Hank. So we do homeowners tips by Hank on Thursdays. So we do that on social media. We put his little picture out there and we just do a little homeowner tip. And then I have my other one, and this was not planned this way, trust me. We have a chocolate lab named Buzz. And so when he was a puppy, I would do what's the buzz of the real estate market on my newsletter with his little picture there. So you never know what's going to, register with people. Any ahas, any new information that you're like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. Anything about the making an offer?
I like the tips on Facebook. I like that.
Yeah. Anybody else? I want give me 2 more ahas on this section. We talked about matching your message to the market, and then the method of how to deliver it and what the process is around that. Anything you guys will implement from that?
I'll take I was struggling trying to figure out what kind of messaging I wanted to do. As a military or prior military guy, I kind of been shy about wanting that. I'm retired military and now I'm a real estate agent. So I guess I should.
So if you're retiring, there's a huge population out there that is getting ready to retire. You will have a lot in common with people, and you'll have that built-in trust being, at the same age, going through the same life change, that you will have instant credibility because you're experiencing that, and people will know that. So don't be shy about it, because here's the thing, you guys, somebody's going to help them. Why not you? Why not you? Right? They're going to find a realtor. Don't you want them to be taken care of by somebody that's going to take care of them like you will?
Well, as of now, it will be me. So.
Like, I'm just gonna let that mic drop right there for you. Okay. So now we're gonna go into prospecting versus marketing. Somebody else want to read this one? Anybody? Okay, I'm gonna pick somebody.
Lead generation is a contact sport with simple rules. It means making contact with people through prospecting and marketing.
So how many of you got into real estate thinking you were going to just sit back and your phone was going to ring and you were going to have business? Did everybody, a lot of people think that? I thought that when I first started. I started when there were short sales and foreclosures in 90% of our market. So people weren't just calling. They had a life change. They were having financial issues. And I'm like, I have to talk to these people through this really tough time of their life, right? And so lead generating was an interesting time for me to learn how to do it when people were having financial issues. We're kind of facing the similar thing with interest rates being as high as they are. People still want to buy, but they're having some challenges around interest rates. So we're the professionals and we are the ones that have the information. So when we reach out, it is a contact sport. And it just means making contact with them. And it's providing value and having a message that, you think they're going to want to hear, or starting that conversation so they can ask questions in a really safe environment, right? We're dealing with people's financial lives as well as their emotional lives with their families and where they're going to, come home to every night. So we do that through prospecting and marketing, and they are 2 very different things, but don't be afraid to make contact. Because again, somebody's going to help them. Why not you? And usually,
I've had a hard time with some contact with some of the people that I'm talking with. On the aspect of, I don't want to feel like an ambulance chaser.
Okay.
Like I have a couple that are, they're sick, and they have given me the chit chat of, I may want to sell my home, but it's like, how do you come across to them without, like, okay, when, how, why, without being that ambulance chaser?
That's an interesting terminology, because when I got into the business, I was like, I don't want to look like a used car salesman. And I hope if there's any of you on here, I'm sorry, that was just my mentality at the time, right? I came from a professional corporate world, and I'm like, I don't want to look like that person who's just begging for business, right? Which is a limiting belief. At the company I first started at, it's a blue company, I didn't learn how to do all of this. I was there for 9 years. When I came to Keller Williams, I learned how to have those conversations where I was coming from value and coming from contribution. So if you do have somebody that's, getting older or has medical issues, and they're dropping that little nugget of, I think I might want to sell, I just don't know when or if or how, my recommendation is treat them like family. Wouldn't you say to your family something like, I know that's probably really a tough decision. I am going to be here when you're ready. I
Yes.
can get you information. I consider me your resource, and I can help guide you when the time's right. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me.
Okay.
Don't feel
But
strange.
I already know her on a level. She's one of my clients. I'm a mobile pet groomer.
Mhm.
So I have already been grooming her dog all the way through like her husband's death. And now
Mhm.
she is at the end of coming to the end of her life. But that's a hard bridge to cross for me.
It is. It really is. And I can tell you from experience, I had a client of mine, the lady who hired me because I was a dog mom, Labrador mom, and a soccer mom. Sold her home. 3 months later, she was diagnosed with stomach cancer. She was 52. And she called me and she's like, when the time's right, I want you to sell this house. I don't want anybody, I don't want my kids to deal with it. I have certain things that I want to do, and I will like call you when I'm ready. And I was like, oh my gosh, like it was an honor that she would choose me to do that. And at the same time, I was like, how do I navigate this so I'm respectful of it? And again, somebody's going to help her
Right.
sell
And
the
no
house.
when.
Right. So the when is keeping in contact with them, checking on them, right? How are you doing? How are things going?
Mhm.
And you're doing her dog, you're grooming her dog. And I will tell you, anybody that trusts our dogs with somebody, you already have that built-in trust. They're our fur babies, most of us dog people.
Oh yeah.
So you've already got that trust built in. So now it's just keeping in contact with her. And I don't know about her family situation, but making sure her family members know that you're a realtor. Sometimes they let the family do it after. Depends on when she's going to do it. But
Yeah.
having those conversations, she's dropping the nugget because she's looking for support and guidance. She probably doesn't know what to do.
That's
Okay.
when you just become the professional,
Yep.
and you just now you have a separate thing to talk about. So you schedule an appointment. Hey,
Yep.
maybe we could talk about all our questions and concerns. We could get clearer together at an appointment, even
plan
if it
together.
is 6 months from now.
Mhm.
But we got to get it together now so we know for the future.
Yeah.
And then that breaks the ice. So it's not a pet grooming situation. It's not a friend situation. Now you're becoming her realtor as a different
Professional.
party.
Mm-hmm. And helping her put a plan together. She's got so much else going on. You are the resource for that. And you're the best resource because she already trusts you. So getting an appointment with her to set aside some time where she can focus on that, and then make sure that you bring information with her on how you can best, support her in that, and let her open up to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bobby had a
So-
good comment in the chat as well.
Can you read that, Terry? Because I can't see it.
Yeah, hang on. Sorry.
Okay.
He said, yeah, many times people in that stage of life do not make these types of decisions. Best to get the kids involved as well.
Family. Yeah.
Yeah, like the family, extended family.
Yeah. A lot of people have trust set up as well. And so again, that's coming from value and contribution of, do you have a trust? Who are the decision makers, and get them all in the same room? My client that we did that with, she did not want to pass away in the house because she didn't want her kids to have to disclose it. I know that's really sad. In California, we have that. And so she actually moved out, and then I sold the house. And I actually found a very nice family. We did an off-market transaction to make it easy for her. So it's finding out how they want to, do that transition,
Okay.
and getting the family, all the decision makers out in the same room together to have a conversation.
Okay.
But the best thing you can do is to support her, guide her, and take that off her plate.
Okay.
Good. Anybody else want to share anything on that? No? Okay. So catching leads. So we have kind of like a timeline. I don't know if anybody's seen this before. Gary Keller shows this quite a bit in different like family reunions, micro camps, that kind of stuff. So there's like a cycle that sellers will go through, people that own homes. Every 7 to 10 years, they typically have a life change, and it usually creates a move. Right now, I would say I'm seeing in my business, it's really 5 to 7 years. that they're having life change. I saw it kind of speed up during COVID because people could work from home. People are still working from home. They're moving close to family. And everybody has their own timelines. So if you look at your database, if you've already sold them a home or helped them buy a home, or even if they're just in your sphere and they own a home, if you look to see how long they've been in there, odds are if they're coming up on 5 to 7 or 7 to 10 years, kids are graduating high school, graduating college, getting married, they might have grandchildren, they might want to move out of state and retire. California's kind of pricey to retire in these days. So I have a lot of law enforcement clients moving out of California. I had one go to Colorado, one went to Oklahoma, one went to Tennessee this year already. It's only June. And they literally owned their home for 10 years. They're right at that 10-year mark. So if you're looking at the cycle, it typically is 7 to 10 years, and it's going to create a life change that will create a move. So staying on top of your database, having regular conversations with those folks is going to help. And if it's people that you're doing like a farm with, that's a good way to also kind of see how long have they owned the home, and they might have like a life change coming up. Am I boring you? As you're going through and having those conversations with them, if you meet them for the first time or they get referred to you and they're not quite ready, check the tax records and see how long they've owned that home. If you don't do an outright ask of them, if you don't feel comfortable, but just keep in touch. Because if you don't, and this happened to me, no joke, 2 weeks ago, I saw somebody else's sign in one of my past clients' yards. I have not followed up with them in 2 years. I'm being very transparent right now. They had a life change. They decided they were going to retire 3 years early, and they are moving out of state. Somebody was sitting there at the right time in the right room, and they got the listing. So just keep in touch with them. Okay. Prospecting versus marketing. I need to just move. I'm going to move my little screen here for a sec. Okay. So you guys saw this in session 5, and we're going to kind of go over it again to remind you about different methods for lead generating. Okay. Why is it better to be prospect based and marketing enhanced? Does anybody remember from session 5? Prospecting based and marketing enhanced. Okay, so prospecting is being proactive. So you're reaching out before there's a need and developing that relationship. Sometimes you will get immediate results. It can be time intensive, but it can pay you back pretty quickly. Marketing enhanced, that's where you're going to spend money. I look at prospecting as usually kind of free, where you're meeting people, following up with people, getting to know them, social media, open houses. Marketing is where you're actually spending some money. Okay. And it can be long-term results, but it's typically money intensive, and it can be kind of passive, not like time intensive. So it's better to be prospecting based because it's free. And here are some examples of prospecting. Phone or face-to-face. Those are your, people that aren't working with a realtor, for sale by owners, expired listings. Circle prospecting. Is there anybody circle prospecting right now on this session? Anybody?
Yes, me.
Yes, you. Who's you?
I'm Terry.
Terry. Okay, Terry. So do you want to, if people may not know what circle prospecting is, do you want to share with them what circle prospecting is?
Like I have a little farm in my neighborhood, and I try to reach out to them with a flyer or some sort of something once a month. And if I can't, once every other month. I'm just trying to maintain consistency. And so far so good. People, every time I go out, I meet at least 3 or 4 new people, and I do take my dog, and they all remember him, and a few remember me. I'm just saying.
And when you put King, so Terry has a dog named King. When you put King on your flyers, they're going to remember you.
Yeah. The other thing too, even if I don't door knock, most everybody has a Ring camera at this point. So I do like to drop off my own flyers because they see my face on the flyer. And I have no shame. I'll shout across the street, "That's my flyer. It's me. It's me." Yeah, call me. Yeah.
So circle prospecting, the key there is consistency. It does work. I also circle prospect, so I do it as well within my farm, and I will actually circle call, hear that as well. I call when I first have a listing, or if I'm doing an open house, if it's not even in my neighborhood and I'm doing an open house, I will call around that house just to say, hey, in case you see some extra traffic, you know, in the neighborhood, on Saturday and Sunday, I'm hosting open house from this time to this time. Here's the address. Would love to see, you know, meet you in person. Come on by. I'm having treats and bottled water, you know, would love to meet you. And if they answer the phone, they will start asking me questions. Well, how much is it listed for? How long do you think it's going to take to sell? It starts a conversation. If they don't answer, I will leave that on the voicemail. And people have come in and said, I'll say, well, how'd you find us? So like, oh, we got your voicemail message. It's working, right? If it's my listing, I'll call around when I first list it and say, hey, I have a new listing on the market. This is where it's at. If you know any family or friends looking to move in the neighborhood, feel free to reach out. When it goes pending, I will call again. And when it closes, I will call again. So people are hearing me, and then they're also seeing me in their mailboxes, and they're also seeing my signs around. So that's how I do my farming. But circle prospecting is relatively free. It's mostly time and energy. Community outreach is another really easy way to connect and get leads.
Leslie, you had a question. How do you get the phone numbers?
So
when you're making your calls?
Yep. So there are third-party companies that you can subscribe to. I will tell you, I'm probably nicknamed Free 99 in my market center. I don't like to spend money. It's just, I'm not one of those agents. I don't buy leads. I'm like, I'm just that way. I want to keep my money and use it for what I want to use it for. But I do subscribe to Mojo. So there's Mojo is one company. Land Voice is another one. They're actually a KW preferred vendor. There's also Spokeo. There's RedX is another company. So those 4 companies are kind of the top 4, I would say, that most agents use, where you pay a monthly subscription. And I want to say, I think it's like $39 or $49 a month, but you can get unlimited phone numbers and emails. So if there is an email associated with it, and I've gotten both, within 3 months of when I first started it, there was a listing in my neighborhood that I was like, man, this thing is like on day 82. Odds are day 90, they're probably going to be looking for another realtor. So once day 90 hit, I sent a letter, and on the bottom it said, if you are currently listed or have a relationship with a realtor, this is not a solicitation. And 2 days later, it was canceled, off the market. They called me for a listing appointment. I listed it. We did a little touch-up paint. I staged it, marketed it, and it was sold within 2 weeks. So that was my first success with circle prospecting. So those companies can get you the phone numbers and emails that you can utilize. And they scrub the do not call list. So that's why I like those companies, because they keep me in compliance and out of lawsuits for the do not call list. And it'll have a big DNC on it. Yeah.
And then about how do you do your mailers?
So my mailers, I use Corefact. There's also a company called Impact. And there's another one called, I think it's called Express Mailers or something. So I do postcards once a month. I send them out, and it has a call to action on it. It has a little QR code they can scan to get their home value. Once they do that, it literally emails me, so-and-so went in and, asked for their home value, gives me their address, their name, and I either capture a phone number or an email. I like emails. Most people won't give me their phone numbers right away, and I know I can go get that out of Mojo. So I will get their email. And if somehow they skate by and they don't put any of that in, because I've had a few that happened with, I know where they live, and I will send a handwritten note for following up. And then I'll also drop something on their door. Because if they're going in looking for their home value, they're thinking about something. Maybe not now, maybe it's 6 months. So I keep them in my regular pipeline. So that's how I use that for mailings. I do an introductory letter, and then I will do newsletters. I do community events, which we'll go through in here too. But that's how I do my farming and my circle prospecting in my neighborhood.
And I actually met with a gal from a local title company, and she'll go over all of this with you as well, anybody, and they'll show you what's free and what you pay for. And they have, I do Chicago Title. I use them for my farm.
And you can also pay title companies. Don't quote me on this. Last time I looked, I think they were like 6 cents a phone number. And they also scrub the do not call list. So your local title rep, First American Title, Chicago Title, Old Republic, they all have different systems. They can pull data for you. They can do it by, demographics like 55 and over that have lived in their home, have X amount of equity, have 2 stories. So there's ways you can target a niche market as well. You can also target move-up buyers. Maybe they bought their home 5 years ago. They're in their 30s. They might have some kids and they're growing out of their home. So there's different ways that they can scrub the data for you for farming and also circle prospecting. So they're a great resource, and they don't charge for their service. What they ask is for you to open up an escrow when you get a listing. So that's kind of their value added for us as agents. Community outreach, volunteering. I've got an agent that I coach that is going to volunteer. She's a total cat person. I think she's even on here. She's going to volunteer at the local SPCA, and she has built a Facebook page around cats. Jessica, if you're on here, you can share your Facebook group if you want. So people can kind of see what you're doing. She's built it up to 300 followers already within, I think, 30 days. And gotten engagement from people saying they're thinking about selling their home.
Yeah. So the Facebook group, so it's called Sacramento Purple Paws. And it's basically, it's just a place for people to post photos of their own cats. And every week I'll go to like a shelter, highlight certain cats, or especially with it being like kitten season and stuff, people are looking to foster, so people will like post stuff on there. But yeah, no. Plus like it's a great way to just like stay in touch with people. I know I've made Facebook friends with people on the group, and you like and comment on their stuff, and you're able to just like kind of build those relationships, which is always nice.
Free. It's free. Free 99. See, we like free stuff. And she posts about, like she will donate a certain percentage of her commission back to the SPCA when she closes. So she's offering a value. Help me and then I will help others. So getting involved with volunteer work, charity work. I'm really involved with our local PTA. We have an elementary school in our neighborhood. I go every year. This also touches on number 9, having a booth. Every October 27th, or that last week of October, they do a harvest festival every year. So I donate a raffle prize because they fundraise off of it. And then they allow me to have a booth there where I can have all my real estate stuff. I'll usually do a raffle where I have my lender donate a prize. Well, in order to get entered, you have to fill out a little, what's your address, what's your email, what's your phone number? And then I have, are you thinking of buying or selling? Would you like to be added to our monthly newsletter? Yes or no? I had 400 leads last year. Not all active leads ready to go, but I got phone numbers, emails, and home addresses. And we have a very active PTA, but even if it was a smaller one and I got 50 or 100, that is 50 or 100 people I hadn't met the year before. And I've done this every year. So again, it's in my farm. So I'm building that brand awareness. So when people do think about selling or they're looking for an investment property, they think of me. So it's being out in the community, which kind of touches on key relationships, number 4. Building relationships with corporations, your local businesses, builders. If you guys have not developed a relationship with your local builder, I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I snuck out after my open house. My husband doesn't know this, but I went over to the new 55 and older community that Taylor Morrison is building in our neighborhood. Their homes are beautiful. The community is going to be amazing. And I went in there to look at the models, did a little video then when I was there, and I met the both salespeople that were there. Because people that are 55 and older, they're most likely going to need to sell a house. So those of you, do not go to Elk Grove. I've already been in there developing relationships with these builders. I gave them my card. We're having coffee next week. And I flat out said, I would love to get referrals. If anybody comes in, builders can't sell their homes if they need to sell a home in order to buy a brand new construction. They're not allowed to. They can only sell their builders' houses. So they have to have an agent to refer to. If you let them know your knowledge, you build that relationship, they know you're going to take care of them. And it's all about going in like once a month, I'll go in. And I did this with the Taylor Morrison home development over here. I had 3 referrals last year from them. So it's a great way to just meet new people. And again, it's free. So builders are a great resource. Your banks, they have mortgage lenders in there, loan officers inside of banks. A lot of agents won't go in and develop that relationship. They don't have anybody to send people to. They don't have agents that are sitting in their banks. They're a great resource for leads. Third-party data companies. So these are places that you can buy the data, like we were talking about the title companies, and targeting a certain market. Investors. I personally haven't delved into the investor pool. Our market in Sacramento is not super investor friendly right now. They can't really make a big enough return. Some of them that are doing this as a business full-time can, but it's a great resource for, business in the future as well. So that would be a good way to reach out. You can look for them on Facebook by doing make offer for instant response. Hey, are you looking for off-market properties? I am sure there's probably quite a few of you here that are getting texts every day saying, hey, I'm looking for off-market properties. Do you have any fixers that are ready to sell? So, because I'm looking to fix and flip. Because I got 3 of them today. I think they're going down realtor list. So there are investors out there looking. So if you want to work with investors, that's a great way to find them is on social media. Okay. Teaching and speaking
Hey,
opportunities.
Leslie.
Yeah.
Alex asked, what do you do with all those leads? Like 400 is a lot. How would you do that? Manage that?
So what I do, I put them in my database. I will tag them with the event that I met them at. I don't know if they're going to be a buyer or seller yet, so I don't really tag them at that level, but I do tag them where I met them so that if they reach back out to me, I know where they came from. Typically what I'll do is I'll send them an email and then I'll put them on a smart plan, just to send them, like, if I get their address, I'll send them a neighborhood nurture. If you're in Command, if you're using another database, send them their home value every month, a market report, CMA. I do it through email. And then if I'm doing an event in the neighborhood, I will use that list to call and invite them to events. So I do events where I'll do like popsicles in the park. I'm working on doing a movie night in the park. Next year I have grand plans. I want to do a family annual barbecue in the park. We've got a lot of families in my area, so I thought that would be kind of fun. And then we have it's called Kona Ice, like shaved ice trucks that I will have come out. So I do the popsicles in the park, and then I'll do Kona Ice during the summer, where I will tell everybody the first 100 people get a free shaved ice. And then again, I set up my booth. I have my little raffle prize so that they have to sign in. I put it right there before they get their shaved ice, so they have to sign in. And so I know I'll get at least 100. I've had 110, so I actually paid for 10 extra last time. That cost me $400 for an hour, and then 100 of the shaved ice, included 100 shaved ice at the regular size. And people remember that. Even during COVID, I did little X's and I had 6 feet apart. Everybody had a mask up, and we did it. We still did it. People look forward to those every year now. When I didn't do it, I only did it once last year, and actually had somebody stop me at the park. Hey, are you doing that again? And I was like, no, I'm not. So again, it's building your brand and getting those touches for people that you wouldn't normally meet. Maybe they're not at the park when you're walking your dog or playing pickleball or tennis or walking. I know it sounds weird, but when you give people free stuff like that, they come out. And your job is to get in front of as many people as you can. And they will always ask me real estate questions when they're standing there. So what do you think's going to happen with the market? What are interest rates looking like? What are prices doing in our neighborhood? Right? So it gives me a way to talk to them and be in front of them. So I like doing those, and they're fun. You know, they're not like me going out and, you know, feeling awkward. I'm not a big door knocker. That does work, door-to-door canvassing. Terry is amazing at door knocking. Me, if you ask me to do it, like daggers in my eyes, I don't want to do it. So I do the things I enjoy and that are fun. And that would be something I would encourage you. Find what you enjoy. If you love golf, go golfing, wear your real estate swag, and maybe sit there, work on your computer afterwards, and have a little sign that says, interested in real estate, ask me questions. People will sit down and talk to you. It's a strange thing, but they love to talk about real estate. So door-to-door canvassing, like I said, is really good. Networking events. If you go to networking events, go where you're going to meet other people, not other realtors. We're not going to buy from you. We're not going to let you sell our homes. Go meet other people. Other businesses would be really great. There's some networking, like BNI. If anybody belongs to BNI group, they're a big networking where one person from each industry, and they're a group that meets once a month. And so there's like maybe a CPA, maybe a lawyer, maybe an insurance person, and you're the only realtor there. Those are great to become a part of, and it helps build your leadership and your networking skills. So those are really good as well to get business from. They usually have like a home inspector, a pest inspector also, so you get people in the business. And if you don't have one in your area, think about starting one. It might be a great way to get involved in your business community also. Walk-ins, we don't really get many walk-ins like we used to, unless you're in a really heavily trafficked area. Is there anybody on this call that gets walk-ins at their office? Yeah, that one's probably not going to generate a whole lot.
Leslie, what's BNI stand for?
Business networking. I don't know if it's institute or I'm not 100% sure, but I know it's business networking. But if you Google BNI, it will come up and you can see if there's a local chapter. And with agents getting out of the business, I think in the next couple of months, there may be an opening in your local chapter, or you can start a new one. If you start it, you get to invite the businesses you want into it, people that you know and maybe already work with too. Any other questions about prospecting?
I have a question. You mentioned the BNI. I just happened to get connected with someone on social media. Someone tagged my name about wanting to network with BNI, but I thought it was a scam. So this is this is amazing. Yeah, because I have a meeting with them at 7:30 in the morning. I'm like, I don't know if I should even show my face because this is just strange. So I'm so glad.
It is a legit, yeah. And they do meet really early, which is, I'm not a morning person, which is why I'm not part of BNI, because I won't get up that early. They usually meet before business hours, like 7:30 or 8 a.m. typically. And they have like a breakfast. Some of them do it at lunchtime, but most of them do it in the morning because they get busy during the day. And if you're a little bit leery for safety reasons, you can just text them and say, just out of curiosity, what does BNI stand for? And see what they respond. And then see if they're right. And if they're not, and go with your gut. If you show up and something doesn't feel right, just leave. It's okay. Yeah. In real estate, go with your gut. We have it built in. And if your spidey senses go up, listen to them. Okay. So, but you can always Google it. But it is legit. And it is really big at Keller Williams, like at Family Reunion. They had their own like mastermind session. All the people from the BNI chapters throughout the United States, they came and they all met together, all the Keller Williams agents that belong to them. So it is a really great way to meet other people.
I have a question. Door knocking, I door knock a lot. And is there any certain scripts that anyone uses that tends to generate good leads?
Terry, do you have anything that generates good leads?
Yeah, I usually door knock with a purpose in my farm. I try to pick up open houses, or if there's a holiday, or so just any reason to talk to them about what's going on in the neighborhood. I mean, even if you have a store open, we just had a Costco open in my neighborhood. So that's a good reason, flyers, let them know and talk to them about it. I don't know. Just
So
to start
I
a
had-
relationship, yeah, and make a connection with somebody, even if they don't buy or sell, maybe they know somebody that wants to live in the neighborhood. I don't know. So I just try to get as much information as I can.
One of the agents I coach, when Terry mentioned Costco opening, he also lives in the same, zip code. He did a kind of like a postcard cut type thing, and he decided he was going to give away a Costco membership. So he had it on there. He had a QR code. If you're interested, in celebrating the, grand opening of Costco, I'm giving away a 1-year membership. Scan here, and he got a tremendous response from that. So again, it's giving something of value. And what I think Costco membership was $45 or something like that. So it didn't cost a ton, cheaper than stamps. What, Terry?
Oh, I was going to say, there's a lot of houses that go for sale in your neighborhood too. So when they close, people are really curious and kind of nosy to see what they close for. So I'll let them know, hey, this is, do you want me to pull a market analysis? This is what this house sold, even if it's not it's not my listing, but
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
And once a house closes, it's public record. So you can go around the neighborhood and say, just as long as you're not saying you sold it, but this home just sold in the neighborhood. Here's an average of, what the prices are in the neighborhood. That is a great conversation. Another one is, again, partnering up with like a heating and air company, a landscaper, something where you're providing them with something in return. People usually are like, oh, wow. Or even like homeowner tips, like maintenance tips for summertime, getting your home ready for the summertime, getting your home ready for wintertime. Daylight savings time is a good one. Change your batteries in your smoke detectors, change your clocks back or forward. We know that happens twice a year. That's another good touch point. And again, like Terry said, it's mainly getting there to meet them. And more importantly, if they keep seeing your name every month, depending how many doors you're knocking, there is going to be somebody that is at some point going to have that real estate need. Somebody else said that they were door knocking. What were you doing? I don't know who it was.
It was me. When I door knock, a lot of neighbors come over, to see, and I do offer them a CMA on their home because they're curious to see if their house is at or above the value of what the house is for sale.
Mm-hmm. And when you do that for them, do you ask them any questions about, are you thinking about selling, or do you think you're going to have any, life changes coming up in the next 12 months? Sometimes people know, oh yeah, I'm getting ready to retire in a year. Or my kids are moving out of state next year, job relocating or something, and they might have a need. Do you ask them and have that kind of a conversation with them?
I do ask them that to see, if they need to upgrade, downsize, things like that. Do they know any family members, friends that are looking to move into the neighborhood or needing to buy or sell, things like that. I've actually gotten some that she was like, yes, I need to move. And she was like, where is the house? And I said, well, can I have your phone number? I'll just text you the information. And then that's how I got her information.
Mm-hmm. That is a great way to do that, to get their phone number. Is, oh, I don't have that information right up, handy right now. I can text it to you later. Or if you want their email address, I can text and email you just to make sure you received it. I'll send it to you both ways. So I never trust cyber world. That's what I always tell everybody. And then they laugh, and then they give me both their email and phone number. I do that at open houses too. Good. Okay, go next slide. So now we're going to jump into marketing. So with prospecting, you saw that it was kind of more time generated, and more of at a personal level, like a one-to-one or small groups. Marketing is more where you're going to spend some money. So I always like everybody to lead with revenue. You don't have to go buy a bunch of Zillow leads. You don't have to go spend a bunch of money on, advertising, until you're ready to do that. Just because other agents are doing it, I'm going to tell you, there's an agent in our office. She spends a lot of money on Zillow leads. That's her business model though. Like, that's her thing. Does she get leads from it? Yeah, but she's spending, I'm talking thousands and thousands of dollars a month. If that's somewhere you want to go, build your business and once you're leading with revenue and you've got that available, go for it. See if it's something that works for you and interests you. But anytime you're spending marketing money, I like to say, let's check your return on it. Try it, see if you're getting leads. I've got one agent who was fairly newer and said she was going to buy, go in and get realtor.com. She'd already signed up for it. And I was like, okay, probably wouldn't have done it, but let's try it for 6 months and see how that works. Okay. So at the end of 6 months, we're going to look at that and see how many leads did you get? Did you get any conversion? Is it something we should do again? So always be evaluating if you are going to spend money, and you do need to spend some money. Don't get me wrong. Whether you're buying social media ads on Facebook, Instagram, just make sure when you're doing it, you're getting a return on it. Like my direct mail, I'm getting a return and I know it's worked for me. So I will increase it when I get a listing and a closing. I'm spending money. And then I'm, putting other things in place in between those, but I know that it works for me because I've built it up that way. But some of the marketing that you can do, like offline advertising is what we'll call it, would be like radio ads, TV ads. There's not much newspapers anymore. They are online probably, then they probably have some advertising online still. Monthly newsletters, if you're doing like a 55 and older community, or even HOAs. A lot of the HOAs, if you guys don't know, they do have monthly newsletters, and sometimes they'll allow you to advertise in there. So check that out. That's been something one of the agents that I know does. Personal vehicles, several of you said that you put magnets on the side of your car. If you do that, just make sure that you can take them off if you get a new car. So that's why the magnet ones are good. And bus stops and benches, I've seen those around. Those can be pretty pricey. I looked into them, and the one company locally here, they wanted $5,000 a bench. And I was like, ooh, that's a lot. And then my husband's like, you don't want people sitting on your face. And I'm like, that's probably true. I don't. So I did not spend $5,000. Magazines, there's some home magazines that go out to everybody's mailboxes once a month, where you'll see like hot tub, pool companies, landscaping companies, cement companies, paver companies. That might be something you want to get into. Billboards, yellow pages. I don't know if there's many yellow pages anymore. I think we need to update these Ignite slides. Grocery carts. Those are, getting on the back of grocery carts. I've also seen, those little, I don't know what you call them, but the separators when you're checking out and they put them in between people, those little bar things, the plastic, you know what I'm talking about? Where they separate like each person checking out. I don't know what they're called. If anybody knows what they're called, let me know. Those are popular too, where you can brand yourself on those. Moving vans. I've seen a couple agents where their advertisements are on the side of moving vans. Or like there's a guy locally here that does sell with me, get this truck for free to move. I'm like, I don't know how much those cost, but there's one agent in town doing that I know. And then there's online advertising. So pay-per-click advertising. So those would be like Google pay-per-clicks, where you're actually charged, based on how many clicks you want to get, 3,000 clicks, people clicking on your ad every month. SEO, those sometimes can be popular. Typically, you have to pay for that to have somebody create your search engine optimization so that you're hitting the keywords that people will click on. Social media, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, doing them through command is the least expensive way that I've seen them be done. Has anybody had success through Facebook ads through command that they would like to share if you're doing them? Is anybody doing those? No? Might think about doing that. People live on social media. I mean, how many times do you see people doing this all the time? How many of you have bought something through Facebook? I have. I'm one of those. Ooh, that looks great. I'm going to click. People do that. So they may see a house that you're advertising. It doesn't have to be your listing. It has to be the brokerage's listings. But you can do that. If it's your brokerage listing, you can use it to advertise to get buyers. And sellers are disguised as buyers sometimes, you guys. They're looking.
Oh, man.
What'd you say? Yeah, so that might work. Portals, sometimes those will open up leads as well, through your website. Broadcasting, again, radio segments, TV shows. I don't know about everybody, but we have like a local real estate show in Sacramento, that has realtors on every once in a while. So that might be something to think about. Live social media, having your own Facebook Live like once a week, from either like 12 to 1 or a 30-minute segment, something where you get on Facebook Live and you talk about real estate. Blogs, that's another very popular way to, attract buyers and sellers. Again, direct mail, postcard campaigns, special events. So like when I do an event, I'll send out a postcard announcing the event and I'll ask people to register there. Just sold, just listed cards. I do those. Depending on the market, I'll also do pending when it goes pending. Quarterly market updates. That's where you send out quarterly market updates to your database or to your farming area that you're working in. Promotional items and swag. So I brought like a little sample. I don't know if you can see this, but I have little like notepads. I don't know, can y'all see my little notepads? So it's got my Real Estate Infinity Real Estate group, and it's got my logo in the middle and my contact information on the bottom. I have these at my open house and my event tables that I do. People will grab these all the time, and I know they're in somebody's house. I also have pencils, so I do these for back to school night, and it's got my logo on it. And I also have it at the Harvest Festival that I give out. And then I also do 4 times a year. I brought this where I do flags. I don't know if you can see this. If you can see this, it is a flag. I posted in the ground. I do have my business card on it, but it also has a little sticker that says that 50% of the donations go back to Wounded Warriors. I do these 4 times a year: Veterans Day, 4th of July, Memorial Day, and Labor Day. And the one year I didn't do it during COVID, I got so many emails, phone calls, and text messages of, how come you didn't do the flags this year? It is a great way. Neighbors will come out as I'm putting them in the ground. And I've only had one person out of 500 say they didn't want my flag up. I was like, oh, that's unfortunate for you. So that's another great thing to do. Promotion. So that was promotional items and swag. Public relations, press, news releases, advice columns. If you have a way to get into doing real estate advice columns for people, that's a way to become the real estate expert, the local one. Sponsorship. I've done this where I've sponsored baseball teams, soccer teams. I will sponsor an event. We did brunch and brushes to help raise money for a dog charity. And I was one of the table sponsors, because that was something that's near and dear to my heart. Anytime you can give back to your community, usually they will give back to you, and they're going to remember you when they have a real estate need. Any questions about marketing? No? Okay. So then we have a combination, prospecting and marketing. So this is both, where you're prospecting and you're marketing. So you're prospecting based and marketing enhanced. So those topics are farming, whether it's geographic or demographic farming. So geographic is where you pick a neighborhood and you're zoning in, you're going to become that local, hyper local real estate expert in that neighborhood. Demographic is where you're targeting like 55 and older, first time home buyers. It's more of a niche market, and you're just zoning in and being the expert for that. Events, open houses, seminars, contests, client appreciation events. Anybody doing any client appreciation events yet? Or seminars? Like buyer seminars, seller seminars, whether it's online or in person, that they would like to share how those are working?
Haven't done one yet, but I want to.
Buyer seminars are very good. I have an agent that did it, and she had gotten somebody already approved and out showing property from it. And she did it in March. And she had a buyer consultation with them last month, got them pre-approved, and is showing homes to that person. I don't necessarily look at quantity, I look at quality. I did one during COVID, and I did it online. People still like to do them online. You can do them from home at any time of the day, weekend, evening. I had 8 people on there and I had 2 conversion from it. And I was like, that was successful. It was an hour of my time. So those are getting pretty popular. Doing contests also, free giveaways, you're doing that on social media. Networking, dive into your sphere, past clients, allied resources. So it would be your business partners, home inspectors. I get a lot of referrals from my carpet cleaner, believe it or not. And just ask them, have you heard of anybody that's thinking about buying or selling? I would love to be your referral resource. They want to help you. Other agent referrals. I sent out 3 referrals this year already to other states. So being that agent in your area that you're receiving them, you can also market for that on social media to other agents. I just did one where I've got a client moving to a certain area and I don't work in that area, but I'm like, anybody have an off-market listing, or you get me connected up with an agent in that area that's got a listing, I'll pay you 25% referral fee just for connecting me. So there's different ways to, get into that process of agent referrals. You can purchase, getting into a referral network, advertising network, and getting into, purchasing clientele, which are paying for leads. Okay. So this is both. Any questions? Any ahas from this section? Anything that jumped out at you? Tilly Devane, go ahead.
Could you just go back to that slide really quick? I'm so sorry.
The both or the other one? Which one?
The both.
Both, yes. Okay to move on?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Any ahas you would like to share?
I have a question. I don't know if it's an aha or not. But,
okay.
Well, it's more, so a lot of us, like me, I work full time, and I'm a part time. Well, I'm trying to make it full time if it works out. But for right now, I work full time. I can't. I word of mouth all through my office, but I can't walk through my office and go wear my Keller Williams t-shirt.
Right.
Any sneaky ways to advertise myself at work?
That's a great question. Do you have a parking lot where you can put flyers on cars? I'm thinking that. Inviting them to a buyer seminar. I mean, you're providing a service. Can you invite them to a buyer or a seller seminar outside of the office?
Oh, let me preface. I want to do it without getting fired, and I'm new, so I'm broke. So
yeah, you definitely want to maintain the income stream. Yes.
And I'm broke, so.
And you're broke. Okay. I have some agents that have done lunch and learns at the office, but they've asked for permission to do it on their lunch hour. So they're not taking company time. They're not working on the company computer. So I've had to have some agents that have done a lunch and learn in like the break room, where they literally have like 30 or 60 minutes, whatever the lunch hour is, where they've got interested people that want to come in and talk about real estate. So I don't know if that's something you can do in your line of work or not, but I have had people successful with that lunch and learn.
Yeah, I'm working on that part.
Okay. And I have also had people where they will, drop an invitation in a sealed envelope on their desk to invite them to an event outside of work. No different than like a birthday party. Again, I don't know your line of work, but if you do it off site, but you just give them an invite and let them decide if they want to attend or not. That's another thing I've seen work as well. Anybody else have any ideas not to get them fired? That can be challenging. So your work may not be the place to get it. You may have to just dedicate an hour or two after work or on the weekends, make your weekends, depending what your work schedule is, kind of like your real estate dedicated schedule to doing lead generation. Here's what I will tell you in coaching a lot of part-time agents that have full-time jobs. You don't have to do this job 40 hours a week, you guys. Whatever time you do it and dedicate to it, do it purposefully. Do it with a reason. Do it with purpose. And right now, if you're newer, you're all about lead generating. Yes, you need to know the contracts, but if you don't have any leads and clients, contracts are really not going to matter, right? So it's getting in front of people and having real estate conversations is the most important thing right now, if you don't have any transactions.
Leslie, Tilly has a question for you.
Tilly?
I was just typing it up, sorry.
Oh.
So you said buyer seminar. My team is trying to put one together. Can you say a little bit more about like the structure that you've seen that are successful, especially for like new agents?
Yes. The most successful way to do those is to have a lender co-host with you, because most people honestly have most of their questions are around financing. Do I qualify? How much do I need? And how much is it going to cost me? Right? Then we also go over, you know, how to help them, what our job is. So it's twofold. It's, hey, join me and my lender. A lot of people have a lot of questions around financing, credit scores, interest rates lately, loan, what's available loan product wise. If you have military folks that you know, educating them about the VA loan would be a great seminar. FHA for first-time home buyers, if you want to just target that, but have a lender with you so they can be the expert in the lending world. And then the real estate part is where you go over with them what it looks like to buy a house. First, once you get pre-approved and we know your budget you're comfortable with, this is what it looks like. We're going to help you identify what you're looking for and where. We're going to help you find it. We're going to negotiate the contract for you. We're going to help you with the inspections, the appraisal, the negotiations, and then finally key day. Right? You walk them through the escrow process a little bit, but you don't dive deep into the weeds. Usually they're about an hour, 30 minutes for the lender, 30 minutes for the realtor. And then you leave a little time at the end for like Q&A. So I would say, you know, maybe an hour, a lot like an hour and a half just for questions and answer. But you keep it 30 minutes to the lender, 30 minutes to the realtor. And that's been the most successful that I've seen is when you have a lender partner with you. And then you can offer like, hey, if you work with us in the next 12 months and you've come to the seminar, maybe your lender covers the cost of the appraisal and maybe you buy them a home warranty if you close. So you can, again, make offer for instant response, give them a reason to work with you. Is that helpful? Okay. So gold mine of referrals. Where do we, when we find the referrals, which like client referrals are people that you've worked with. And if you're new and you haven't closed a transaction yet, maybe open houses or people that you know that are referring people to you. Always thank the people that send you referrals. Make sure you're setting the expectations with your referrals, you know, of what you're looking for, and then thank them. Right? So ask for the referrals. Don't be afraid to ask for referrals from people that you know. I know it might feel a little bit weird, but again, you're the professional. This is what you guys do. Once you get your license, you guys know way more than people that don't have their license. Even if you haven't done a transaction yet, you are a licensed realtor. Most of you are in the state of California. You are a licensed realtor that is going to bring value to that person. You can share your KW app with them, share market statistics. So you're going to provide value to them of why they need to trust you and work with you. You can provide them with a vetted vendor list. That's like your plumbers, your electricians, your painters, your landscapers. But don't be afraid to ask for referrals from even those people and then reward them. Somebody does give you, I will always ask if somebody gets referred to me, so how did you find me? Because I want to make sure I thank that person that sent you to me. And then thank them. Send them a gift card, Starbucks gift card, Amazon gift card, something so that you're basically reinforcing that positive behavior that they did so that they're going to do it again. They're like, wow, that was nice. They sent me a thank you. It's just like, you know, if you shop somewhere enough and you get your points and you can actually use your points, feels really good, right? So you want to go back and shop there again. Don't be like me where you leave all your Kohl's coupons in your purse and then they expire. So send them something that they're going to use. And then thank them with a handwritten note. We always get bills in the mail. It's nice to get a little handwritten note with a little gift card. So that's how we do client referrals. Anybody doing those with success, either from people that have referred to you or if you have closed something with past clients or vendors that you use. No? Think about implementing that. It's a really quick, easy way to get client referrals in the future as well. Okay.
Let's see. I'm actually working with a lender that referred a client over to me that I actually have under contract as of last week. So
thank that lender, because guess what? We typically have 1 or 2 lenders that we work with. Lenders have a multiple amount of agents they're working with. They have a choice who they send that referral to, but they chose you. Thank them for that. Because trust me, in this market, there's a lot of agents that are calling. Like my lender every week, I'm like, hey, Kevin, got any referrals for me? Hey, Kevin, you got any referrals for me? To the point where last week he's like, no, let's say don't have any referrals. The next one is yours. So thank them for it. Because it is they trust you. And you obviously did a great job. You're in contract already. Thank them. If you want another one from him or her, thank them. They will appreciate it, because a lot of agents don't, you guys. They just take it for granted. I give you all this business that you're giving me one back, right? So just say thank you. It goes a long way. It really does.
For sure.
I heard something, a gentleman that goes to the doctor, every single time he sees his doctor, he was like, hey, do you know anyone that's looking to buy or sell? And the doctor is now where he's like, I don't know anyone yet, but if I do, I will let you know.
See, that's mind share. That doctor is already like, that's my realtor of choice right there. That's funny.
I've asked my doctors when I go to the doctor.
Yeah. Agent to agent referrals. There are some agents in our company that have built their business, like 30% of their business comes from other agents. It is a legit referral source. There are people migrating and moving all over the place right now for different reasons. I just read a statistic. Most people are moving closer to their grandkids right now, or the kids are moving close to mom. So there is a lot of movement back and forth going on. So having those agent referrals that you've already made those relationships is going to help you ahead of time. And if you don't have one already, it is easy to find one. You just reach out to the local market center of wherever they're moving to. And I typically will talk to the team leader there and just say, I need you to give me 3 of your top agents. Or this is the kind of client I have. Who do you think would be best fit? And I usually will interview them first before I give them to my client. Because I'll usually know my client well enough, or somebody that I'm referring to them, that I will know if it's going to be a good fit. And I just had one that wasn't, and I had to let the first one go and then got them a second agent. They were in contract within a week. So that was a $5,000 check that I received for just giving a name and phone number and having one conversation with the agent and saying, will you please take care of them the way I do over here? $5,000. And that was like the easiest money I've made all year. So agent to agent referrals are a great way to help build your business. And there's a plan on how to do it. If you're interested in doing that, check with your local coach and they can help you build that as a pillar of your business. Okay. There's actually a process to it that KW has. And you're going to maintain it. You're going to grow it, maintain it, and manage it. Your agent to agent referral source. You treat them just like you're nurturing a client. Same way. You drip on them through your smart plans. You call them, you text them, you email them so that you're top of mind, because you never know when they're going to send you business also. So like I said, there is a whole process to maintaining these agent to agent referrals. You can systematize it. Yeah.
Oh, Cindy asked, what are you looking for when you interview them, the other agents?
So what I'm looking for is to see if it's going to be a good fit for my client, if they're going to get the experience that they're looking for. And like with my clients, I'll say, what's important to you in your realtor? Is it responsiveness? Is it finding you the right home? Is it their negotiation skills? Usually it's all of them. But my first one, I really mismatched. My clients were in their 70s and I really mismatched them the first time. They were really nice people. It was a husband and wife team. They were really great, super responsive, very knowledgeable in the area. They just were probably a little too young for my clients. They went out and met them once. my clients called me when they came back home. They're like, we really think we need to make an agent change. And so I said, okay, well, what are you looking for that's important to you that didn't work out the first time? And they were like, somebody who's really patient, isn't going to rush us. Again, knows the area, but probably is a little bit more mature. And it wasn't, they said it wasn't anything bad about the other agents. It just wasn't a good fit. So I'm really looking for what my clients want and to make sure it's a good fit.
Oh, shoot. There we go. I've done one referral and I kind of liked it. So
Yeah.
I thought about, getting more into that. And I have a lot of folks that I know that are in my sphere that are in other states.
Mm-hmm. So market that to, like, on social media. I can do real estate anywhere, because you may not be doing the actual transaction, but you have the connections through our referral network that you can connect them up and take care of them on the other side. So if you're selling here and they're moving somewhere else, or even if they're not selling here and they're keeping their home as an investment, you can connect them up anywhere, even anywhere in the world. Like, we've got some agents in our office that help people in Dubai. We've got some that are helping in Mexico. Terry, I think you met somebody, was it Guatemala or something like that, or Nicaragua, that you were working with?
Yeah,
Trying to
I
connect
actually
them with
just
an
talked to
agent?
her the other day. Yeah.
Yeah.
She got one of my flyers from door knocking. Yep.
See?
We're all over though. It was wild. I did not
We're
know we were in Nicaragua
everywhere.
until I met her. Yeah.
We are everywhere. I was joking last year. I'm like, I really want them to open up a Turks and Caicos so I can take a vacation and write it off as a business trip. And they opened up a Turks and Caicos office.
Oh, wow.
I know. So that's the other thing. If you go and you visit a KW office somewhere and you, like, set an appointment with the team leader, meet a couple agents. We have some agents in our office that have really good connections in Hawaii. They're actually going to move to Hawaii in 2 years, and they've developed network and they've gotten referrals from it. So you never know, but you can market that you can help anybody anywhere. Idaho was a big thing about 2 years ago. I sent 5 people to Idaho in 2 months, and I have a connection with an agent in Idaho. So building that network as you go, don't limit yourself, because that is the easiest money, honestly, that you could get. It really is.
Yeah, I
contact.
even contacted her to ask her, how it was going and stuff, just to stay in contact.
Yeah.
So she, I didn't just slither off into the darkness.
And a good agent will keep you up to date. Like, I have one that's moving to Oklahoma. They close on July 2nd. I'm selling their house here. And the agent and I, we've been keeping in touch for like 1.5 years because they weren't quite ready, but I connected them up so she could keep her eyes out and kind of they could get to know each other. So she knew what they were looking for. I've talked to her every month. She'll send me updates. Since they've been in contract, I get regular updates with what's going on in their transaction. And right after 4th of July, I will have a direct deposit into my bank account for probably about $6,000. That one is. So that was $11,000 this year already on referrals. So think about that. Don't limit yourself just to your local area. Think about all the people you know, college friends that you might have went to college with, cousins, other family members that are in other areas. You can still help them even with investment properties, any of their real estate needs over there.
Okay.
So this is our KW referral network. I'm not going to like dive into the weeds on it, but it is in Command. And this is a great way if you want to do it through Command to find where agents are. And it will also show you migration patterns. So you can see where are people moving from, like in your local area, and it will show you agents that are doing the most business that are moving into the area. So if you want to reach out to that agent, say, hey, I'm a realtor over here. I would love to work with you, get to know you. You can start developing that relationship. So you can, be their go-to for them, and vice versa. You can see the migration patterns out of your area. So if you wanted to market, let's say from California, like I said, 2 years ago, everybody was going to Boise, Idaho, the point where those Idaho prices are now California prices. I can look and go, okay, there's a lot of people in Sacramento moving out of there. And I can do social media marketing to, if you're thinking about moving to Idaho, contact me. I can help you there.
Okay.
Doesn't mean I'm going to do the transaction or I'm going to show them houses, but I am going to be their connection to get them set up on the other side. So that's a great way. And it's pretty easy and not very expensive to do a social media post for that. You could even do a Facebook ad around that to attract people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We also do worldwide referrals, like I was telling you, including Canada. So we are in 50 plus regions, including the US and Canada. And I'm surprised at some of the places we have. And we keep opening up market centers all over the world. So this is if you've got, a certain area that, you've got, like I have a lot of clients that have family members in the Philippines. I can get referrals from there and make sure they're connected up. So just think outside of the box to build your business.
Okay.
Business to business referrals, we talked about those. Some of the things that are really good for that, I was talking to an agent I coached today, and I'm like, have you ever thought of highlighting a small business Saturday, small business each week? Maybe somewhere that you like to frequent, like a restaurant, or if you had to get your tire worked on, they did a great service, doing a quick blurb about it, or going in and interviewing the owner of a small business and highlighting that on social media. You're going to attract people that have things in common with you. I love sushi. We've got a sushi restaurant in town. That's our date night every Friday night. We go there and then we go to the movies. And so I actually have on my list to do this year is to interview that owner and see if maybe the following Friday night, he'll give people that mention my video 5% off their bill or 10% off their bill. So there's different ways you can highlight businesses too, to get you into relationship with them. And then you can also say, for doing this, this is free advertising for you. Can I put my business cards right out on your, where people, pay at your register? Do you mind allowing me to highlight myself? They're not going to usually say no if you're giving them free advertising. They love that. So that's an easy one. Any ahas from this section?
Just the
You
easy
said it's
referrals.
No.
Go ahead.
So you said it's the businesses that you're advertising them, so you would put something like co-branded there at the businesses?
Or just put my business cards right there on their, where they pay when they come up after they eat, pay their bill. Just have my little business cards in a little plastic thing, just so my face is there, right next to the register. But
I was thinking like a business card and a mint or something. Then after they eat, they have that little piece of candy or something.
You could do that too. I'm sure if you prepare the mint with the little business card attached, they would be happy to put it in the check. Yeah, that's really
I have a question. About the referral agent to agent. Is the negotiable between two agents how many percent they should pay? Because
the percentage?
Yes, because I see some of the agent has more or some of them has less. Is it depends on the negotiation?
Yep, just like commissions, it is negotiable. Like on my one in Colorado, I got 25%, but in Oklahoma, that one, because I had to cultivate the client so long for a year and a half, and keep touching and keep in touch with everybody to make sure everybody was still talking and doing that. I actually charged 30% for that one. You have to come to an agreement with the agent that you're referring to, but I will tell you, if you hand an agent a piece of business that they did not have, they're most likely going to be happy with 25 or 30%. I've seen some agents who will send me emails like, hey, if you send me a referral in the month of July, we're paying 50% on our referrals this month. They're trying to drum up business for themselves. I would say the standard is mostly between 20 and 30% is what I typically see as
and it should be right on the contract and stuff, or just talk about
usually I'll talk to them ahead of time before I assign them the client. I'll say, hey, this is how much I'm charging. I don't ask. I tell them I'm handing them business. I handed an agent a $675,000 transaction that's closing in July. And then the one that closed in May was $700,000. That is business neither one of those agents would have had if I didn't find that agent and give it to them. So I usually will tell them. If they aren't comfortable with that, they're going to say, oh, that seems like a lot, or really? That's how much you charge? I'm like, yep, I'm handing you this business. I have not had them say no. Neither one of them were like, ooh, that's too high. They always have the opportunity to say that. But again, it's how you present it. I was like, hey, I've got this great referral for you. Here's their budget. This is what they're looking for. They're great people. I'm selling their home over here. You know, I would love to refer them to you and see how things work. I'll send you a referral agreement and this is what I'm charging. And then I send them the referral agreement before I give them the contact. And I get it signed. Just like a buyer broker agreement, I get it signed before I give them my client's contact.
I had a Texan agent. It was just a cash buyer for, you know, 200,000-300,000 range. And because I worked so hard with this guy, we were under contract for a mobile, and we just he couldn't get his funds in time, so we had to back out. And so he's thinking about Texas. You know, all those homes are brand new homes, are about 200,000 where he's wanting to go. He don't care where in Texas. And I pinpointed where, found an agent, and she's like, no, she's like, I have value, you know, the whole bit. I'm like, yeah, I'm not saying you don't, but at the same time, you know, I've cultivated this buyer for so long, and we just, you know, I want him to have the best. It looks like you're going to give him the best treatment. I mean, I was only asking the 30% for on a 300,000, but it was like 9,000 for her and 4,000 for me. I was like, either way, it's low money on both ends. Like, you know, I'm surprised that she said no, and she's like, no, I'm gonna work so hard. I'm like, but he wants a new build. Like
9,000 is better than zero. I mean,
that's what I
told
her. I was like, you're still getting more than what I'm gonna get.
Like, so here's a good way to combat that or handle that objection is, you know, he may have other family members that end up moving out there, and we don't know who he may know that's already in Texas that she may get referrals from after that you won't get paid on. So that's a way that you could, and that might have also told you that she wasn't the right agent for you and him.
Correct. We moved on. She didn't sign the agreement, nothing.
Yep. So sometimes you have to weed them out as well. And I don't know, if an agent called me or sent that to me and wanted 30%, I would be like, thank you. I will take excellent care of them and get referrals from that person after they move. That's how I look at it. Yeah.
And I figured too, like that was gonna be an easy transaction if he just wants that new build.
Yeah. No, that's an easy peasy transaction.
Yeah.
That is.
Thank
So here's some more sources of lead generating. So I mentioned geographic farming. I have personally built my business on open houses and geographic farming. And I'm starting to do demographic farming because I'm going to be 55 this year and I'm embracing it. So I am jumping into the 55 and over community. I'm going to get certified as a KW planner. I'm working on that. And so that's an example of a demographic. So geographic is a collection of homes in a specific neighborhood, and you choose to be their hyper local realtor. So when I send things out in my neighborhood, I literally say listing, selling, and living in our neighborhood. I am your neighbor. Like, I want them to know that I live here. I know the amenities. I am the expert. I had an agent just start doing this. He sent out 4 items, had a listing appointment last Thursday. That was in 40 days of starting to do that process. You never know when it's going to hit. You do have to expect that it may take, you know, some time because it's consistency and it's showing up in the neighborhood and in their mailbox every month. I will tell you, for me personally, this is usually good for about 8 to 10 listings a year, even in this changing market. I've had 5 listings already this year from my farm, and we're only at June. And those listings have, each of them have developed 2 more pieces of business for me. So when you think of it, it's not just the geographic farming, it's what it will produce for you afterwards too. Long-term client referrals, people you're going to meet at open houses, buyers. I had one in my neighborhood. I listed it for $1.1 million. We had 11 offers. I ended up with the buyer and we closed it at 1.2. So I didn't know that buyer was coming until they showed up and wanted that house. So you never know where your business is coming from. So geographic farming is a great way to dive in and be that neighborhood expert. Okay. Again, maximizing your prospecting and marketing. You want to do open houses, even if it's not your listing, as long as it's your office's listing, do open houses in that neighborhood. Social media, talking about the neighborhood, going out to the park, doing a video, community events in that neighborhood, highlighting the schools. You're showing up in people's feeds on social media when you do that. Conversations, getting to know your neighbors. Like Terry was mentioning, she door knocks, door drops regularly. Terry also didn't share, but she did a Halloween event last year where she got to meet a lot of her neighbors, and they're starting to get to know her as a realtor, not just as a neighbor now. So it's just a matter of time before a listing pops. I know she's got a few people that are in the
Actually,
pipe.
from that event, I was just texting the girl, we're getting them pre-approved this week.
See, that was
For to
only
buy.
in October.
Yeah, just some random trick-or-treating event.
Yeah. So contacts, making sure you follow up, like Terry's been following up with people in her farm. And then notes, handwritten notes. People love those, you guys. Just randomly do 10 or 15 a week in the mail. You just never know when people get divorced, people move on, people, their kids are graduating. You never know what's going to make them move in and out of the neighborhood. Okay.
I have a question. Yeah, what to write in the note? Like
I just write in, hey, just want to drop you a friendly note and say, hi, I am the neighborhood realtor. If you have any needs, any home resource needs, such as plumber, painter, electrician, please feel free to reach out to me. I have a list of fully approved, vetted vendors that I'm happy to provide for you. So I come from providing something for them. I'll do it like if I'm having an event, I will send out handwritten notes also along with my door drops with the flyers. But again, sometimes I'll stick in a little Starbucks gift card. We have Crumble cookies. I don't know if everybody knows about Crumble, but we have Crumble cookies. So sometimes I'll drop a little gift card for Crumble cookies, just as a little surprise. One of the things that I'm known for is my lottery scratcher tickets. I'm known as the lottery lady in my neighborhood. I hand them out at my open houses, and I'll put them in note cards also. People love getting stuff like that. I mean, I just opened up like 4 bills right now, and I was like, I'd love to get a handwritten note from somebody with a little something in it, right? Makes me happy. So stuff like that, and just checking in with them, seeing if they have any resource, needs for resources. I heard something at a training last week where an agent will send a note saying they're offering a real estate review, kind of like you get an insurance review every year. For like life insurance, health insurance, car insurance, home insurance, real estate review. Looking at if they've got investment properties, you might find out your neighbor actually owns 3 rental properties somewhere, and you can figure out if it's time for them to buy or sell. They may want to fix and flip. They may want to buy another rental. They may want to sell their home, upsize, downsize, right size, figure out what their real estate needs are. What a great way to offer them a free, no obligation real estate review. That's a new thing I heard last week. I was like, oh, it's kind of a good thing. So that's what I would write in like handwritten notes. Events and seminars. We talked about buyer seminars and community events. Does everybody have any questions around those or any other suggestions they would like to share?
Yes. How do you, you did the popsicle thing. I think that's like you say, inexpensive. So I was trying to do the whole
$100.
Yeah, I was trying to do an event at a winery. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's going to cost me thousands.
Start out small, you guys. Start out small. Lead with revenue. Start out small, and you don't have to do a big thing. I will tell you, I had the most engagement with my popsicles in the park. I couldn't get my Kona Ice. They were already reserved. So I'm like, okay, what else can I do? And I did it on 4th of July week. And I did it I did it Thursday night and Friday night because I wasn't sure which one would be the best. So I did both. And I just had my little table out there. I had a little pop-up tent. I had a Yeti cooler. I went and bought already frozen popsicles at Costco. And, start out if you want to do like $50. Once they're gone, right? First come, first serve. And then I did flyers. The first time I did it, it was super impromptu. I didn't even do any marketing. I just went down to my park, set up my little booth. I had a little raffle prize. My lender helped donate some money to cover a $200 Costco gift card. So we did that as the raffle prize. So people would enter, sign their name, email, right? I'm like, oh, we're not doing the drawing tonight. You don't have to be present to win, but I do need a way to reach you if you win, right? So then they had to fill out their information. And I usually say, I'd like to get email and phone number. Just in case you don't answer your phone, I can send you a quick email. And if you don't check your email, I can send you a text message. So then I can get both. And then I just had my Yeti cooler there, and I had a little chalkboard that said, come meet your neighborhood realtor and enjoy a free popsicle. I had people coming up to the table and actually like trying to give me money. I'm like, no, it's free. You don't need to pay for this. They were like shocked. Well, why are you doing that? I'm like, I'm just getting to know my neighbors and give back to my community. I live in the neighborhood and I'm a local realtor. I've got information out here about our area, and I'm here to answer any questions. And people would hang around. They went and brought their other neighbors. It was really fun. That was the first time I ever did it. And people loved it. And I just did it for an hour. I set up at 5:30 and I started it from 6 to 7 after dinner. You could also
in my area, you can get a hold of companies like Humana, and they set up events, and you can set out a table with whatever it is that you want to promote you and yours, and they'll have a whole bunch of people there. Because it's mostly where I'm at, it's mostly seniors. So you can contact Humana and they'll let you know when they're having an event and what it takes to be a part of it.
Good. Another thing coming up, August is National Night Out. A lot of neighborhoods will have like a gathering at a park and have different booths and food and like the fire department, police department. If your neighborhood doesn't have one of those, you can actually coordinate that. I've done that twice and that was really fun. It's a free event. They don't charge you for your table and the neighbors all come out. So that does happen in August. So you might want to check that out too, because it is free. I'm telling you, I'm the queen of free right here. Okay. Any other questions about events and seminars? They're a great way to dive into your database if you haven't touched your database for a while too. Say, hey, I'm doing a buyer seminar, or I'm, depending on the age and demographic of your database, trust attorneys coming in and doing, why do you need a trust? Or if you're like my age and your parents are getting older too, and you're their trustee, there's one that you can, do a seminar. I'm a trustee, now what? A lot of people don't know what that means if they actually have to step in and do that process. So again, you're coming from value and providing a service and educating people. People love to be educated about different topics. So that's also something you can do for a seminar. Leads, again, are everywhere. Do not discount anybody that you come across. Grocery stores, coffee shops, repair shops, hair salon, dentist office, anywhere you go, those are potential people that might have a real estate need. So it's just, having conversations, wearing your real estate swag, and just really paying attention to the folks around you and the conversations they're having. Any ahas from that section? We're almost done. I know we're over almost 8 o'clock. I'm going to try to wrap this up so y'all can get back to your families. Okay. So command. So command, you can do your entire business on here, from running it to growing it. Again, part of your success system, adding contacts to your database every day. We usually have a goal of 10 a day, typically. If you're finding you're challenged with 10 a day, just start somewhere, 2 a day. It's building the habit, because two might seem like really hard to do right now. You do 2 a day for an entire week. Next week, you're like, oh, that 2 was easy. I'm going to double it and do 4 a day now. Start somewhere and just build consistency in contacting the people that you already know. Almost everybody that I coach that has closed a deal in the last 6 months has been somebody they already know. It's from their sphere, or somebody in their sphere referred them to somebody. That is the easiest place because they already know you, trust you, and want to help you guys succeed. Okay. And then open houses are another way to generate them. Farming, just have conversations every day about real estate. And when you start putting that, I know that sounds weird, but when you start putting that out in the world, you're going to start seeing a lot of people talk about real estate that you probably didn't even recognize before because you weren't really paying attention to that conversation. And you're the expert now. I walked by somebody at the grocery store the other day, and they were husband and wife couple, and they were talking about interest rates and kind of arguing about, well, they're really super high. And I'm like, actually, they just came down a little bit. And they're like, really? How do you know? I'm like, I'm a realtor. We had like a 10-minute conversation about real estate. I didn't throw my card in front of their face, but it was a way for me to have that conversation and practice that. So you just never know. So lead generation plan, connect with your sphere like we were just talking about, build and feed your database. So you build it, meaning you're putting your contacts in, you're feeding it by providing information out to your database. And I'm going to go back to that, making offer for instant response, especially with your database. You could do a email to your database. Hey, you guys, I'm doing a contest this month, and I'm going to take a drawing out of everybody that sends me a referral, and I don't know, $50 Amazon card, Starbucks card, whatever you want, for sending me a referral. You're not saying it has to close or it has to go anywhere. You're just rewarding the behavior. That's a really easy and fun one to do. You can also follow that up with a phone call, letting them know, check your email. I'm doing a fun giveaway this month. Texting them, did you see my email? I'm doing a fun giveaway this month. You can also create a QR code for them to enter the referral into your database. So there's different ways to make it fun for you and fun for them. Capturing your leads from your open houses. If you guys are going to open houses and hosting them and you're not getting contacts from it, you could go see a movie, go for a walk, go out of town. Make sure you're going for a purpose with your open houses. Otherwise, spend your time somewhere else, right? Open houses right now, I had 25 groups on Saturday and 24 on Sunday. People are out at open houses. You can do them at a really high level and make them a part of your business. Building community with social media and capturing leads. There's a lot of agents that are super successful with social media build out and getting people to engage and getting business from there. Jessica mentioned her Facebook page. That's one idea. Being your neighborhood community expert, highlighting businesses. That's another way to do it. Executing a referral strategy, agent to agent. You get referrals and you also send out referrals. So there's, both ways that you can do that. Choosing a geographic area to focus your door knocking efforts and building your farm. That is a short-term as well as a long-term process. It will keep paying you back if you're doing it consistently. Consider events and seminars. I will say one thing out of all these, do what you're going to enjoy and it's going to be fun. Otherwise, it's going to feel like a grind and it's going to feel like work. That's how you're going to know you're doing the wrong activities. This business should be fun because once you get in contract and you're negotiating and doing all the other activities, sometimes those aren't so fun. They can be. Handing keys are super fun. But when you're building your business, have fun. Okay? Any questions about that? Any ahas?
I have a question.
Yeah.
If you can help me, I get kind of stuck on making calls to my sphere or just anyone in particular, but no one in particular, but I'm just thinking, I always want to have a reason to call, right? So like if we as KW have an event going on, then I have a reason to call and share and say, hey, I would like your phone number or address to send this. If there aren't any events, what's your advice or what would you do to call to kind of gather some of that information that you want to follow up with?
So I don't know how many of you out there feel like this, but this little tool right here that is a necessary evil in our business For me, sometimes this is like 1,000 pounds to pick up and make a phone call. I feel you, you guys. I'm not a fan of it, and yet I have to do it, and I do it. And I'm like you, I want to have a purpose when I'm doing it. I don't want to feel like I'm just calling to make calls. I'm bugging you. That's not what I want people to feel like when they see my name pop on their phone, right? So if you're just starting out, a great way is to say, hey, if you haven't announced yet, you're at KW, you're starting, your real estate business. I'm updating my database. Just want to confirm so I can keep in touch and provide you with some really valuable information on events and changes in the market. Just want to confirm I've got your email address accurate and your home address. That's a way to do it. I like to do birthday clubs where I'll, like my January babies, I'm like, hey, every January, every February, March, I'm doing a drawing for that month. And somebody who has their birthday in January is going to win something. And I change it up every month of what I'm going to do. And so that gives me a way to get their birthdays, is having a birthday club. Sometimes if it's people that have given me a lot of referrals, I have like a VIP program that I put them into where they get notified of my listings before they even hit the market. A lot of people just want information about real estate, but really the most important way to get on the phone with them is, hey, it's been a while since I've checked in with you. How are you? As simple as that. How's work? And inevitably they will say, work's been great, or I've been super busy. I just got a promotion. How's the real estate world? They will usually ask me, and I don't even have to bring real estate up, right? The real estate review is a good one. If you know they own a house already, you can say, have you ever gotten a real estate review before? Have you ever even heard an agent offer that to you? Here's what that looks like. Is that something you'd be interested in? And if they say no, say, can you help me understand why that wouldn't be a benefit to you? Because then you'll know what their objection is. But honestly, if it's people that you already know, just checking in with them. I'm sure there's people you haven't talked to in a while. And just making it, I call them care calls instead of lead generating because I don't like that term. So care calls, just checking in. Do you have any household needs? Do you need a referral for a housekeeper or a painter? That's a big one that's super easy. Just make sure you have those people you can refer them to. And if they ask you for somebody that you don't already have, say, you know what? That's a great one. I'm going to work on finding you somebody that I trust. Because I had somebody ask me the other day for a tax preparer. I was like, my guy, is getting out of the business this year. I'm going to have to find one myself. And so I'm looking for a tax person. And so I have them on my list when I find somebody. So that is a big, easy one to do also. If you don't have events to call them around. Did that help?
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey,
Okay.
Les, can you
Yeah.
highlight just highlight the referral strategy really quick?
The referral strategy, meaning outgoing referrals to find an agent or incoming or both?
I guess both.
Both.
Like, how would you build a referral network?
So I would find where either people that most of them live, like if you have a bunch of people that live in Oregon or Texas or Colorado, odds are they're going to be moving at some point, selling, buying, or looking for an investment property. So develop a relationship with an agent in the area that you have people kind of concentrated in, whether you have family members or friends that already live there, or if you have clients that if they've mentioned, hey, I'm going to retire next year and I'm thinking about moving out of these states. That, by the way, is a really great question to ask somebody. If you could move anywhere, where would it be? And I usually will put that in the database. They would move to Colorado or Texas, because if they start thinking about out of state, that's most likely where they're going to go. And then I can start developing a relationship with an agent there. And that map that we looked at that had referrals in command, that's where I would go to find the agents, because you can see how many units they've closed, how long they've been in the business, and kind of like their bio. You can see that in that map. Is that kind of what you were looking for? Whoever asked that question?
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Okay. You're welcome. Okay. So this is your daily success system. 10 conversations, 10 contacts added, 10 handwritten notes, 10-5-1 social media. How's everybody doing with that? Anything I can help you with on that?
Good.
Good. If it's overwhelming, just chunk it down to where it's doable for you. If you are struggling with the 10, this is your business. And I know I'm supposed to say 10, 10, 10. As a coach, I'm a productivity coach. I'm more important in the habit and activity that you're building. Don't beat yourself up if you can't do 10. Do what you can do and then build on it. Don't get stuck at 2 and stay at 2 forever, but manage it to where you feel like I'm having a little bit of success and then I'm going to grow it. And that's called accountability to yourself and your business. If you have a coach, be honest with them and have that conversation. Like, this is really, I'm struggling with my time, struggling with accomplishment. We can help you through that as coaches. Okay. And we'll get you to that 10 a day. It's a process and it's a habit. It's not one that you're used to doing, you guys. We didn't go to school and learn how to be a realtor. We didn't go to school and learn how to do these 10, 10, 10s. So it's building that habit. Just like if you're exercising or dieting, right? Or you're going to go on a hike, you're going to train yourself how to do it. This is the same process. So you've been doing it for 8 weeks already. If you're struggling, it's okay to dial it back a little bit. I might get in trouble for saying that, but build the habit. It's all about consistency, just like real estate is. Okay. Don't forget the Telephone Consumer Protection Act. Do not call people that don't want to be called. There's more people that want to be called. Find those people. Make sure they are not on the do not call list. And if you accidentally get somebody that is on that do not call list and like, I'm on that list, I am so sorry. My apologies. I will make sure you're not on my call list anymore. Just be very humble and apologetic. Okay. You don't want to get sued. Gary doesn't want to get sued and pay another settlement. Okay. Okay. Jose Servan, can you read this for me? Jose, you're going to help me out? Jose? No. Okay. How about Dan? Can you help me out and read this?
I engage every conversation in the spirit of contribution, and people are happy to be in relationship with me.
Okay. And if that sounds weird to you, you can also say they're happy to be in conversation with me if you haven't built a relationship with them. People do like to hear from us. And I was surprised. I went and I did Bold. If you haven't done Bold, I would encourage you guys to do that. And when I got on the phone and had a conversation, they were super happy that I called them. I was like, oh, see, I'm not bugging you. It's a limiting belief in our minds, you guys. They do want to talk to us and hear from us. And when they have that real estate need, they're going to be looking for you. Okay.
I'm sorry I was getting the water. I would have been.
Oh, that's okay. It's okay.
I rushed, but it was too late.
It's okay. Dan covered for you. It's all good. One of the tools that I do is preparing your call list. Either do it on a Sunday night or the night before of the people you're going to call during your care call time. Don't figure out who you're going to call when you have to call them, because then you waste 30 minutes figuring out who to call. So this is a really helpful tool to help maximize your care call time. Or some people refer to it as lead generation. Okay. We are not going to be able to real play during here or update the contacts. Before we end, really quickly, I would like you to text somebody in your phone that you know and just say, hey, I was just reaching out to check on you. How are you? I don't care who it is. As long as it's not your spouse, partner, or your mom. Pick somebody else that's not one of those. Getting in the habit of texting them, and you'll probably be surprised at the responses you get. And the first person that gets a response, yell out, I got a response. I'll give you a couple minutes. Let's see who's paying attention to their phones at 8:15 at night. We'll give them like 2 or 3 minutes to respond. Any other questions anybody has for me? Anything I can help you with? Any struggles? Just FYI, I'm a realtor, not a licensed therapist. I know some of my clients think that I am sometimes. This is the other thing. I always wear my dog mom hat when I'm out walking the dog with my realtor gear. And I'm telling you, people stop and talk to me. So if you have dogs, that's a good thing too. There's a website. They also have a Facebook page, a company called All Things Real Estate that have great real estate swag, very inexpensively, and the quality is really good. That's a great place. They have like little dog bandanas. It says something about referrals. I sit for referrals or something like that.
Can you put the name on the chat, please?
Yeah. Terry, can you type that? It's All Things Real Estate. They have a Facebook page, Instagram page, and they also have a website. They're based out of Oregon. It's actually started by a realtor. She's not selling real estate anymore. She's making a lot of money on her real estate swag. But they have like yard signs. They've got notepads. It's just a plethora of real estate. They've got sweatshirts, t-shirts, hats, everything. And they're pretty reasonably priced. They also do customization too. If you have a logo, they will do customizing on quite a bit of stuff and they're really reasonably priced.
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody get a response from that text message?
I got one. What you
Who was
want?
that? Who was that?
It's me, Cindy.
Cindy, I am going to send you a $25 Amazon gift card.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah. See?
They asked me what I
like
want.
to give away stuff. What was their response?
What you want?
I want a referral. You got a real estate referral for me? That'd be a great question. Good. Okay, anything else before we close up? Nothing? Okay. I hope this was helpful for you guys. I encourage you to continue with Ignite. If Bold comes around to your market center, highly recommend that, especially in the fall when we kind of need a little jump start to end the year strong. And if you have a coach, let them help you. They're there for you to help you guys succeed. We actually love when our agents succeed and we get them through the finish line. Okay. And next session is keep every lead. That's an important one. And Thursday night, your tech night, super important. Vince Catapano will be teaching that. He is actually, he was in my market center. He just rolled to another market center last week. But he is amazing. He's actually a labs advisor for KWRI, as well as he's a local market center tech in Roseville, Elk Grove, and Chico. Plethora of knowledge. So don't miss his session. He's amazing. You will enjoy it. And he's really funny. And here's a little fun fact. He's a Star Wars fanatic. So tell him I told you. Okay. Have a great rest of your evening, you guys. And if there's anything I can do to help you, I am in Sacramento. Shameless plug. Would love your referrals if they're moving to the Sacramento area.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good
Bye-bye.
night.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.